Hello everybody, welcome to the video. Today I am recording and going over my Tower of Fantasy preview slash initial thoughts, whatever you want to call it. Of course, this is not a review. Thing is similar to Genshin Impact. The game and the amount of content, everything that we get to do, and the overall status of the game is going to change over the course of time. So, of course, like I said, this is just going to be kind of a preview and my initial feelings and thoughts on the game so far. So my initial impressions of the game don't necessarily indicate what it'll be in the long run. What we're getting now and what the state of the game could be in like 2, 3, 6, 12 months from now could be totally different. So this is why this is just going to be essentially a initial thoughts video. For the video, of course, I am going to be referencing and making comparisons to Genshin Impact a lot. I'm going to be doing that for a couple reasons. One, Genshin Impact is the only real gacha game that I've really played other than Tower Fantasy. Genshin Impact is where I started, as well as a lot of other people as their introduction to kind of gacha and games like that. Two, Genshin Impact is also probably, I would say, the #1 gacha game that is a mobile slash console slash PC type game as well, just like Tower Fantasy. A lot of the comparisons and the way the game plays has a lot of similarities, so it is also just a good metric as well as basing the game off to get a gauge of how things are, and it's also going to be relatable since so many people have also played Genshin Impact, as well as if you're not familiar with Tower Fantasy. First things first, I am free to play. I have only technically made one purchase. The only purchase I made was a monthly supply pass. You get 300 crystals, which is the equivalent of 2 wishes, and each day you get 100 dark crystals are in a box day. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a banner or something like that, a thing you could buy in Genshin Impact. It's like the daily wish thing. Essentially same thing. You get like 300 or 600 to start, and then you get like 100 every single day, or 50. I don't remember the amount, but anyways, you get the idea. Overall, so far, my initial impressions of the game are good. I've actually been enjoying playing it a lot. It is fun. I do like getting to explore everything. I am currently in Asta, which is the starting area of the game here. And then last night, I've been working on the quests and exploration for the second area here. So, of course, you know, like I said, there is a lot of comparisons and a lot of familiarities with Genshin. The climbing aspect of it, the exploration aspect, there is a lot of things out in the world to interact with in order to get items, which you will use to make wishes. So in Genshin Impact, of course, you get your primo gems, which you can get from opening chests. You can get them from doing daily activities. Most similar to primo gems, it's going to be called nuclei. If we go to special orders here, these are going to essentially be our different banners that we have. And when it comes to nuclei, we're going to have 3 different types. And these are all in regards to getting characters, which are either SR or SSR, aka 4 and 5 stars. You are guaranteed an SSR in every 80. I just hit my first 80. I'm now 90 into this banner so far. For 5 SSRs just from this banner alone. So that was all within 90 wishes, which is, it's just incredible, right? It's say if you're comparing that to Genshin, your chances of getting more than 1 5-star in a banner is very little. Overall, in regards to the way the gacha works, it seems pretty forgiving. Getting 5 stars or SSRs in one set of pity is pretty incredible. But even still, so I got literally going from my records here. This was my pity, but even right before that, I did hit. I'm sorry, that's not correct. This was my pity right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did another 10 today, and I got another SSR, which was essentially my C2 constellation for that. So yeah, overall, I'd say it feels really forgiving, but overall, the gacha doesn't seem as bad and not as money-driven compared to, I'd say, Genshin Impact. So next, let's talk about the combat. So like I said, getting 4 and 5 star characters will unlock different weapons. You have your purples, which is your 4 stars or SRs, and your oranges are going to be your 5 stars or your SSRs. For weapons, there's 4 elements in the game. There's a physical damage, which is something like this weapon right here, or this. also indicated by the symbol here. We have our ice weapons or frost. We have our electric, and then finally we have fire, which is the fourth one. Unlike Genshin, there isn't any sort of elemental combo or impact of them. The only real defining thing regarding the elements is to see some enemies have resistances to them, but your combination of your weapons, the type of weapons you have, will in fact, the type of weapons, whether you have support weapons, to attack weapons, to defense weapons, kind of determines the buff that you do get. The combat system and the way combat works is pretty simple. So enemies in the world are going to scale with your level. For combat and avoiding taking damage, there is going to be this dash that you have. If you see right towards the bottom right hand corner, there is a bar with 3 blue bars that slowly refill after every time I dash. You have 3 charges for your dash, and this is going to determine how you avoid essentially taking damage getting hit from enemies. When enemies attack you, you can do a dodge right before the attack, essentially trigger a time gate effect, just like that. So what this does is it creates a bubble or a sphere, and everything in here starts to slow down. And then from there, I'll just finish taking these guys out. Each weapon you have has an ability, so if I press 1, I have now a 12-second timer based off my setup and my buffs before that ability is up again. And then what I can do is I can switch to my different weapons, which triggers a discharge when they are glowing like this. And that'll do a AoE damage effect, as well as switching me to that weapon. Just kind of based off that, combat is very straightforward. I missed this somehow, it's crazy. So that's kind of a good example of being out in the world, interacting with different obstacles. I can now find black nuclei, which I can then do to make a wish if I'd like. So yeah, it's very straightforward, very easy. You should have no problem picking up the different concepts. The ceiling for combat doesn't seem very high, or at least so far in the game. So next thing I want to talk about is going to be the story. The story for this game is pretty straightforward. The story for the game starts off as actually what seems pretty good. And once you kind of get towards the end of the starting area, it starts to kind of taper off and slow down. It's now kind of to the point for me where it's just kind of whatever. At times where I'm talking to characters that are just kind of, you can tell, just kind of pushing things along, I find myself skipping cutscenes. This is somebody who does very much enjoy good storytelling, things like that. Ideally, things are starting to get a little bit better where I'm at as I'm finishing up things in the next area here. But if they will get better again, totally, time will tell. My only real complaint regarding the story is that there seems to be somewhat of an end game goal, but it's not very clear. And the present issue is very much clear in what's going on right now. What the end game is and kind of what the whole point of the story is very much not clear. Your role in this is still very much uncertain. So hopefully we can get some answers with that here sooner than later. Regarding my final thoughts of the game, I do like it. Like I've said, I've been enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to playing it more, kind of progressing the story. So my major concerns right now is the game is fun. I'm worried that the game might start to stall out and get a little dull after a few months. So from my personal experience when Genshin first came out, I really enjoyed playing it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I wasn't really too aware of the gacha system and how pressured I was into it. That's a completely different story. But I thoroughly enjoyed exploring Teyvat, opening chests, going through, doing all the content that there was to offer in the game, achieving the end game, completing Spiral Abyss, getting 12 chests, yada yada yada. When playing Genshin though, after a few months, there was only so much content to do before there was essentially a wait time before more content was released. So for Genshin, every major patch was about 6 weeks apart, with 2 different banners every 3 weeks. Whether Tower Fantasy is going to follow that, I don't know. The problem with Genshin was that after a while, After I explored Teyvat, or after I explored Leeway, Mondstadt, I quickly ran out of things to do. The game got pale and extremely dependent on resin. The question is Tower Fantasy going to run into any issues like that once the main amount of content has been done and experienced? With that, only time will tell, right? Of course, this is why today, this is just an initial thoughts and my kind of first impressions. I'm hoping that's not the case. I do like playing this game, and I do like the fact that so far this seems extremely free to play friendly, that you can just start playing. You don't feel the need to pick up or spend money. And as you can see, right, from I spent $5 max, you can spend 0, and I'm sure you can get just as many SSRs, maybe even more. Even still, right? Maybe you have better luck than me. You won't have 3 of the same thing. Having received 5 total, only after playing 3 days of the game, like, that's insane. There's still a ton of content to do. The game gives you a ton of rewards just from playing it. As you go through, explore, do things, you will start to get free stuff. There really is a ton to explore, things to do. Even as you play, there's so many different things. It just gives you resources, side quests that you can do, which I've not even really touched at all. Even world bosses, such as like right here. So far, it seems like there's a ton of content, and those concerns aren't really an issue now. But that doesn't mean that they won't be here, like I said, come in 3 months. So with that, only time will tell. Also, of course, you know, we don't really know what the timetable is. I did slightly kind of allude to this a minute ago. You know, it's going to be some time. Currently, as of right now, the way things are working is we have a level cap that's set in place. As of today, it is set to level 30. I am level 29. So I will unlock some new content to do at level 30. But over the course of time, the level cap is going to slowly decrease in how much time is allowed. Eventually, it's going to be several days before you can even get to the next level. From a gameplay design, it sucks for players, right? You know, you just want to play the game. You don't want to feel like you have to stop, or you're limited as to what you can do to experience everything the game has to offer. From a development standpoint, in a game like this, which is a gacha, I also get it, right? From a developer, especially to have player attention, you can't just let them experience everything all at once, especially when your game plan in your game, one that is free to play, you plan to have years and years of content for the future, right? So the last thing you want to do is give them 6 months worth of content, and being hardcore gamers that we may be, we go through all that in less than a month. So it sucks, but at the same time, I get it. It makes sense, right? It's just a matter of how good will it be, and how much will that be the case, if at all. So, like I said, another thing, time will tell. So, pretty much, good game. First impressions are good. I'm excited to see what the future is going to bring with it. Will we be getting more pros, or will we be getting more cons? From what I've heard, since the game has been released in China and they are quite a ways ahead of us, the game will get more polished and refined over time. We are essentially playing the same version that they did when the game released. That's going to be it for this one. Let me know what your initial thoughts are on the game. Let me know what maybe the things that you like and love about the game so far are, as well as maybe what your concerns could be. I'm really excited to see Tower Fantasy, and it's made a good impression. I didn't think I would be making content for a game like this, but I've enjoyed it, and I'm going to be playing more of it for at least the next few weeks until until I get gatekept possibly. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so much stuff. Tons of rewards are given out to you for free, and like as you can see here, there's tons of content, things to do. So yeah, you can go absolutely wild. But with that, that's going to be it. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be making more content for this game. When the next video for this will be out, I don't know. Things kind of arise in my, I get ideas or things I feel like I really want to talk about. I'll kind of make content on it. But for that, that's going to be it. Like I said, please like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Tower Fantasy, as well as you can check out my other content. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care and have a good one. Peace. Deuces.